Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and an old dirt road. Are you ready to go? Hey, thanks for joining us today on Live Music Nation podcast. I'm your host, Jake Gill. Today we're Shane Cummings, director of the Imperial Dinner Theater. Shane, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jake.
You bet. Shane, give us a little background on you. Where'd you grow up? And then your career transformation from then to now as the director of the theater.
Oh, sure. So I grew up in the music world. My dad was a musician and a Fifth and Life kid. He grew up the West Coast. And of course, he was playing the Bakersfield area in the 50s when it was all just getting hot.
Yeah.
So he had a lot of experience out there, and he had bands out there. And then he moved to Washington State. Then we transplanted me from Washington State to Arkansas. And I was about 10 years old, and he had bands here in the area that he was with. And then when I got to be about 16 or 17, I decided I wanted to get into the music field a little bit and follow his coattails. And he and I started a band called the Five Rivers Band, and we played together for, gosh, I guess.
Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and an old dirt road. Are you ready to go?
I got involved in the theater. My daughter and my kids were involved in the studio aspect of it, where they took dance, acting, and drama and stuff like that. And the director and the founder asked me, we were friends. We'd done community functions together. And she said, how would you feel about teaching guitar? And it's a nonprofit, all volunteer. And I said, well, I'd be happy to do that. I'd be happy to give my services or donate them.
Sure.
And she said, oh, no, we'd pay you. And I said, well, okay. And I said, well, put it towards my daughter's dance tuition. And she said, well, it's about $7 a week. And I was like, well, that's fine. That's fine too. I wasn't doing it for the money. And then, so I loved that. I was enjoying the studio and the theater. And then they asked me to do a show. I'd never been in acting before. And this was in 2006, I think. And had a blast, did Into the Woods. They taught me what to do as an actor. And I just had a good time. Yeah. And then they needed a substitute drama teacher. And then at this point, I'd been in the theater for about a year, learning from different people, learning from the other directors. And I started substituting a drama class. And she came to me again and she said, you're so good at this. And I was just in there having a good time, honestly, acting a fool, acting like a little kid myself with those kids. And it just grew from there. And I grew to love theater and still love music. And I found a mesh between the two of them. And, I grew kind of self-studied and again, studying with other people within the organization that had more experience, other actors and directors. And through the years, just grew my skills by paying attention and learning, and having the passion of it just didn't just start; it continued to grow. And so, at that point, in 2017, our organization suffered a terrible flood, which our whole east side of our town did, and we had about 3 foot of water inside of our building, destroyed everything, the 18,000 square feet of damage. Thanks to a group of volunteers, we were able to get it completely dried out within a few days. But we, as a nonprofit and a nonprofit arts organization, there's just not a lot of money.
Yeah.
And, but we decided in 2019 to make a comeback. We cleaned the building up. We weren't able to do renovations at that point. And then, Andy, the founder and executive director of the organization, said, if you want to do it, I'll help you and I'll work in the background. But I'm ready to retire after over 30 years of serving the community. And so I took over as director by approval of the board. We were run by a board, of course. 2019, we did 2 shows in the fall, one in the fall and one in December. And in 2020, we had a Johnny Cash tribute artist from Houston, Texas, come in and do a show. And I had the opportunity to play with him as his guitar player. And then, of course, after February of 2020, we all know what happened. COVID became a downturn for all entertainment and the whole world, for that matter. But so we closed again and didn't know if we were going to survive this closure. Now we're in 2022, and we made a decision this summer to make a 2022-23 comeback. So here we are.
Oh, very good, very good. What type of performances do you have at the Dinner Theater currently going on?
Well, we don't have any at the theater. The facility is actually closed.
Okay.
But what we are doing is doing a tour show with a melodrama called Countdown at the Pied Piper Saloon, which was written by the before mentioned founder and former executive director, Andy Evers. And we've done 6 presentations across the Northeast region here, and it's been greeted so well. And one thing that we do that is different, I mean, I know there's other people that do dinner theater, but I really feel like we have a special gift that when you come to one of our shows, you become part of the show and you become part of our Imperial family. In fact, one of our mottos is #WeAreFamily. And we try to make you feel at home. It's a great show. It's a lot of fun. We have plans moving forward into 2023 to reopen in the fall with some of our other shows. And we've done everything from hokey, silly melodramas like we're doing now to Rodgers and Hammerstein, Cinderella, Jesus Christ Superstar, Dracula. We produced a Scooby-Doo and a Ninja Turtles. We're a family-friendly dinner theater. We try to make it good for adults and for kids so that the whole family can enjoy live entertainment. So that's kind of who we are and the direction we're going again.
I got you. And when do you think the theater will be open back up?
We hope, and I don't have a solid plan on it. I'm going to be meeting with the board in December and coming up with a solid plan and kind of a trajectory of where we're going to be. We've got to do a lot of fundraising, and part of that we're doing by the show. We're counting on our donors and our supporters of the region because we draw from about 100-mile radius to our theater. We're actually a tourist destination, have been for 25 plus years. Our goal is by October of 2023 to have the facility renovated back up to par to where we feel like it's up to par and hopefully better than ever is our goal. So we're looking at October next year. Yep.
All right. Very good. Very good. Shane, what do you like most about your job?
Man, where do I start? I love serving the kids. What we've done is we're not just a theater. Again, I said we're a performing arts studio. It's always been my passion working with the kids and seeing the development of them. And I realized in 2019, when we came back, we always did summer camps, and that's how we started our comeback in 19. And for years, I saw generations of kids that grew up in a studio have a certain mentality, a certain goal setting ideas. And that's what we try to help nurture. What I saw in 2019 is how much our society has changed and how much kids need what we do more than ever. So I got to say, I love performing. And I always say I've got a big ego, and some people, I don't have an ego. No, if you're an entertainer, you have an ego. You just do. And that's part of what drives you to do what you do. But the ego is to serve others in your art or your performing art. And so I do love that. I love to perform. I love directing. I love seeing the customers laugh or evoking whatever emotion the show is supposed to. But in my heart of hearts, my passion will always be for the kids that we get involved in what we do and seeing them grow and learn. And we've actually started a new program with the studio called Leadership Academy, where we're teaching kids personal development. We do it through the arts. We're doing it on podcast. We're actually getting ready to start a podcast with the kids so that they can help produce that. And, technology is kind of taking us over. And if we can use that as a tool to show these kids, hey, you can be a force of good, a force multiplier of good using technology and reach other people and serve others. And that's really what we're about. We're about serving others. And we want to teach the youth that, hey, you have skills and gifts that you don't even know yet. And we're going to cultivate that and move forward with that program. We're so excited about that. So I come back again. What I love most about it, what I do is working with the people. And I've got an incredible volunteer staff that stayed with us through all these ups and downs. I love working with them, but the kids are always my big focus for sure.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, a couple fun questions, Shane. What's the best show you've ever seen in your entire life?
Oh my gosh. Wow. Best show I've ever seen.
Yep.
Man, that's so hard. There's been so many. I think Jesus Christ Superstar has to be way up there on shows I've seen. Dracula, which we actually performed. I was in it, but looking back at it, it was such a Into the Woods too was just amazing. I don't know how I could pick one. They're all so much fun. Everything I've seen and done. There's not too many that I've been able to just sit back and watch over the past 20 years because I'm usually involved in some form or fashion. So there's so much. I don't know that I can't pick a favorite because they all have nuances that are different. The show we're doing right now is so silly. It's called Countdown at the Pied Piper Saloon or The Legend of Johnny Rash. And there's nothing deep thinking about it, I promise you. But Johnny Rash is played by Garrett Wilbanks, a brand new actor. And it's a musical melodrama where you have the hero and the heroine and the villain. And when Johnny Rash comes out and sings his crazy song, and it's a spoof off of a list of Johnny Cash songs. It's called "I Walk the Line" because and I've got a sore behind and my horse named Sue. And so yeah, I can't pick a favorite. They're all so much fun. They all have
very good. All right, dead or alive, you could bring one act to opening night at the Imperial Dinner Theater. Who would you bring? Dead or alive?
Wow. One act. Oh, dead or alive?
Yeah, dead or alive.
Oh, Elvis Presley, hands down.
Okay, perfect. That'd be great. Yeah, for sure. That would be awesome. Very good. Shane Cummings.
I have a list, but I mean, it had to be Elvis. Come on.
Yeah, no, for sure. Shane Cummings, director of the Imperial Dinner Theater. Thanks for joining us today on Live Music Nation podcast.
Thanks, Jake. Appreciate it, man.
You're welcome. Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle